In this video, I want to teach you about the differences between a 252 stroke and a 254 stroke. What's up, Rad family? I'm Dakota Freeman, and welcome to the Rad Adventure Dude channel. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, make sure you hit that and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future dirt bike riding tips. When choosing between a 252 stroke and 254 stroke, there's going to be a lot of different things that come into play. A 252 stroke is actually going to have a combustible engine that passes every time around the crankshaft, and it completes the 4 stages of combustion. And the reason this is different from a 254 stroke is because a 4-stroke motor is made up of more parts and actually has to pass twice around the crankshaft before creating the 4 stages of combustion. So a 252 stroke is actually going to have twice as much power as a 254 stroke. However, these engines run very differently, and I want to tell you why. So because of this, a 252 stroke is going to have a lot more power. And because of the type of the motor, it doesn't have as much torque. So a 252 stroke having more power is going to also run differently. A 2-stroke has a lot more aggressive power, and it's not the best for a beginner. The reason this is because it has a power band. And the power band on a 2-stroke, it starts out very mellow, and then when it hits the power band, it can accelerate very quickly. And this is different than a 254 stroke because the power band on a 254 stroke is going to be very mellow and very consistent. However, the 252 stroke is going to be a lot lighter and a lot faster. Also, the engine components are a lot cheaper if anything breaks, but a 252 stroke you're definitely going to be working on more often than a 254 stroke. And this is just because of the type of motor that it is. Let's just be happy that it's a 252 stroke and the parts to fix it are much cheaper than a 254 stroke. Another difference though, kind of talking about the power band, is that you're really going to have to work a 252 stroke to keep it in the power band and to maintain your momentum. You are going to have to switch up and down through the gears much more often than you would on a 254 stroke, where it has a much different power band on that bike. So knowing that you're going to have to work the gears and work the motor a lot more to get the momentum that we're looking for is going to be good to know depending on if you're a beginner rider or an advanced rider. So now that we've covered all about a 252 stroke, let's go ahead and cover a 254 stroke. Overall, a 254 stroke is going to be a lot less expensive than a 252 stroke. However, it's going to be a lot heavier than a 252 stroke and have less power. The power on a 254 stroke, however, is going to be much better for a beginner rider. It's much more mellow, much more predictable, and very consistent. So this way we can actually get used to using the throttle, have better throttle control, and this will be a lot easier for a new rider. Another reason a 254 stroke is a good choice for a beginner rider is because the power of a 4-stroke makes it much easier for a dirt bike beginner. It's much easier to ride. You can just put it in gear and then be able to turn the throttle. You're not having to work the throttle to keep the RPMs up and actually keep your momentum up on your dirt bike like a 252 stroke. The 254 stroke is going to be much more mellow, and you're just going to have to put it up in gear, and then whenever you want power, you just turn the throttle on. You're not having to work it to keep the RPMs up or anything like that. If the RPMs are too low and you don't have the acceleration you're looking for, you just shift down, and that's going to put the RPMs where they should be and give you more acceleration, which is much easier than having to work the throttle and work the gears just like a 252 stroke. The next thing that I want to cover about a 254 stroke is that they are going to have a lot less maintenance on the dirt bike. As long as you're changing the oil and keeping the air filter clean, your bike is going to run for a lot longer period of time without having to work on it. However, being a 254 stroke, it has a lot more parts inside the motor, and if we do break something inside the motor, there's a lot more normally to fix. So it's going to be a lot more expensive when we do fix our 254 strokes. And this is very common between 2-strokes and 4-stroke. 2-strokes motors are going to be a lot easier to fix, but you're going to be doing it more often. And 4-stroke motors are going to break less often. However, when you do break them, they're going to be much more expensive to get fixed. So comparatively between the 252 stroke and the 254 stroke, the 254 stroke does have a lot less power. However, it has a lot more torque down low in the gears. This torque can help you out to be able to get up a hill, be able to do a wheelie, and that's going to be the differences between these two bikes. The 252 stroke is going to have more power but you're really going to have to work this 252 stroke to get it in the power band and keep it in the power band. So depending on what type of rider you are, if you're a newer rider, I would probably suggest more of a 254 stroke just because of the mellow power that's very predictable and consistent. If you're a faster rider looking for a powerful bike that's lighter and easy and agile to ride, I would suggest going with a 252 stroke because it's going to be a lot more power on a lighter bike that's a lot more agile. And this, for an advanced rider, could make you much faster. You are going to have to work the gears to keep it in the power band to also get the right power out of this dirt bike as well. However, both of these bikes are going to be great for any type rider, and just make sure that you know what you're buying before you get out there and get on it. If this video helped you, make sure you like this video, drop some comments down below, and ask me any other questions that you have. If you're looking for dirt bike riding tips, I'm always here. I've made a full dirt bike riding course over on my website that's going to walk you through being a complete beginner and take you to an advanced rider mastering the tracks and trails. I also give away a free dirt bike guide over on my website. Just sign up for my newsletter and I'll send it straight to you. If you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, make sure you hit that and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future dirt bike riding tips. After that, you can watch my next video right here. Stay rad, and I'll see you over there.